الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just as people are gathering, want to go through the process of the Eid prayer, and we'll continue with the takbirs, inshallah. The day of Eid is a little bit different from the typical khutbah structure that we might be accustomed to if we attend the Jum'ah prayer, in that on the day of Eid, the prayer precedes the khutbah. You make the intention, you're going to make the intention for 2 rak'ahs for the Eid Al-Fitr prayer with an additional 6 takbirs. When we stand to pray, we're going to commence the prayer the way that you normally would. With the initial takbir, you'll raise your hands, place them where you normally would in the course of the prayer, and then we'll recite what's called the thana to ourselves, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, to the end of that. And then we'll do the first of the 3 additional takbirs. At each, you'll raise your hands the way you would raise them when you commence the prayer, place them to the sides, and then after the 3rd additional takbir, you'll place your hands where you normally place them in the course of your prayer. We'll recite Surah Fatiha, a portion of the Quran, and then we'll conclude that rak'ah the way it's normally concluded, that cycle of prayer. When we stand for the second cycle, the second rak'ah of prayer, we'll have the recitation of Fatiha, we'll have the portion of the Quran, and then before we go into the bowing, the ruku'ah position, we'll do the remaining 3 additional takbirs. The 4th takbir will be the one that moves us from the standing to the bowing, and then we'll complete that rak'ah as is normally completed. After I give salams, I'm going to do 2 short khutbahs. We'll make dua together. And then inshallah, for those who are able to, we're going to be having brunch at our space at 6th Avenue. Inshallah, you're all welcome to join us. If you haven't given Zakat Al-Fitr yet, Zakat Al-Fitr is something that has to be given prior to the Eid prayer. You can go to launchgood.com/givelocal. We're distributing the Zakat Al-Fitr to people in need in our local community. It's $10 per person in your family. You're required to give it if you're somebody who is required to give zakat generally. If you're not someone who's required to give zakat, then you're not required to give the Zakat Al-Fitr. The Zakat Al-Fitr serves the role of 2 things. One, it's an expiation and recompense for any deficiencies in our Ramadan. May Allah accept from us. And 2, it's meant to be a mechanism through which those who are in need also can celebrate the holiday. So please do make sure that you're doing that. We're not collecting it in cash. If anybody takes cash from you in the park, they are stealing from you. That's not from us. So don't give anybody any money, because we're not taking it. I don't know who you're giving it to. Zakat Al-Fitr, launchgood.com/givelocal. Our brother Ismail is going to lead us in the takbirs. Follow along. If you RSVP, you would have gotten an email that has the takbirs in it. You want to go along with the takbirs as well. In a few minutes, I'll stand again and just remind people as more people gather and trickle in, inshallah. If you can follow the directions of our volunteers as they place you to seat, we would appreciate it as well.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. Allahu Akbar kabira. Walhamdulillahi kathira. Wa subhanallahi bukratan wa asila. La ilaha illallah wahdah. صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So I quickly go through the process of the Eid prayer, the Eid khutbah. For those who are accustomed to attending Jummah on Fridays, the day of Eid is a little bit different from what we might be accustomed to, in that the prayer, it precedes the khutbah. There's no adhan or iqamah. We'll stand to make the rows for the prayer. When we make the intention for the prayer, you're going to make the intention of 2 rak'ahs for the Eid Al-Fitr prayer with an additional 6 takbirs. We're going to start the prayer the way we normally do. With the first takbir, you'll raise your hands and place them where you would normally position them in the course of the prayer. You'll recite what's called the thana to yourself. And then we'll do the first 3 additional takbirs. After the third, you're going to place your hands where you normally would in the course of the prayer. We'll recite Surah Fatiha, a portion of the Quran, and then we'll conclude that cycle, that unit of prayer, as normally is prayed. We'll then stand for the second rak'ah, the second unit of prayer. We'll recite Fatiha, a portion of the Quran, and before we go in the bowing, the ruku'ah position, we'll do the remaining 3 additional takbirs. At the fourth, you'll go from the standing to the bowing position, and then we'll complete that rak'ah as is normally completed. Once the prayer is done and the salams are given, I'm going to stand and give 2 short khutbahs. We're going to make dua together. And then you're welcome to join us for brunch at our center on 6th Avenue. You just go straight down Washington Place. We'll be serving food outside. You can take it inside to the space, so you're more than welcome to be outside in the park if you'd like. The weather is supposed to gradually get warmer, inshallah, as the day goes on. Inshallah, ya Rab, maybe warmer. If you haven't paid Zakat al-Fitr yet, it's $10 per person in your family. We're not collecting cash. Please don't give cash to anyone who's telling you they're taking it, because we're not taking it. Launchgood.com/give-local. You can give your Zakat al-Fitr. It's $10 per person who are dependent on you in your household. You should give it before the Eid prayer, which we're going to start in about 10 minutes. I want to introduce you, before we go through another round of takbirs, to someone many of you might know, my sister Daria Lisa, who's a part of our community. Amazing person, mashallah. You might have seen her face on some different things as of recent, but she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. I can tell you honestly, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with a community that has amazing people stepping up and doing great things. Last year, we stood in this park celebrating this holiday, and I told you that my brother Zohran was going to win, man. Right? So I want you to give your attention to my sister Dari as she comes and shares some important words with you about some of the good things that she's doing. Please give it up for our sister Daria Lisa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. I'm a little nervous. There's quite a lot of you. Assalamu alaikum. I'm so deeply honored to be here with you all this Eid as we come together to pray, to celebrate, and to reflect on all that Allah makes possible for us every day. My name is Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, and I'm here today as your sister in Islam, as a fellow New Yorker, as a daughter of Dominican immigrants, but also as a congressional candidate in New York's 13th district, spanning from Harlem and Barrio, Washington Heights, Morningside Heights, all the way up to Kingsbridge in the Bronx. I'm grateful to be here with you all on this holy day, where we are commanded to be celebratory. But I know that for many, that can feel hard right now. The world feels full of horrors, and our brothers and sisters in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Iran, and across the world are suffering, mourning, and in pain. And it can feel almost too scary to hope. Looking at the actions of the madmen dropping bombs, it's easy to feel powerless. But if we look around us, because again there are so many of you, right here in this park, you'll see that we are surrounded by hundreds of people who share our Muslim values of compassion, solidarity, and steadfastness. As Muslims who love our people, as New Yorkers who love our people, as community members who want better for all of our people at home and abroad. And over the last few years, as we have seen these horrors increase, I have thought often of the Prophet Ayub. When he had lost everything and had no reason to feel anything but sorrow, no reason to hope, he still remained steadfast in his devotion to Allah. And Ayub's faith, his steadfastness, his hope, has been a guiding principle for me in this time. Because hope is something that I find most when I trust in Allah. But it's also something I find when I'm in community. As a sister and a fellow New Yorker, Miriam Kaba has said, hope is a discipline. Of course, we find an earlier version of this lesson in Islam, which commands us to celebrate on this day, regardless of what may be happening in our lives or in the world around us. This too is a discipline, and we must continue to follow it no matter how dark times might feel. I'm running for Congress to at long last replace those who call themselves public servants, but in reality only serve the powerful few. I'm running for Congress to replace those who have voted time and again to spend our money on bombs while allowing our children to go hungry. And I'm running for Congress to deliver housing for all, for true immigration justice where ICE is abolished, and for a politics that prioritizes investing in life in our communities rather than death abroad. We are taking on an AIPAC-funded incumbent, and it will take a great deal of resources to beat him. But I know that if we are together, if we are steadfast, if we are relentlessly hopeful, that we will win. So thank you all again, and may Allah reward you for all that you do to care for our people, whether they live here in New York City or across the globe. Eid Mubarak.
Takbir! Big special dua for our sister, and for all those who are stepping up to show the world that regardless of who it is that governs through their own egocentric needs and desires, there are always going to be people who recognize the underserved and underprivileged. And this community is going to always be a community that stands with those who the world has forgotten. We're going to continue with the takbirs just for a couple more rounds. I'm going to explain again to everybody how the Eid prayer works, and then we'll stand for the prayer, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
So last explanation of how the prayer and the khutbah is going to work on this day of Eid is different from the standard khutbah that we are accustomed to on the day of Jum'ah, which is also today, alhamdulillah, in that the prayer is going to precede the khutbah. When we stand and make the rows, do your best to stand shoulder to shoulder, heels aligned so the rows are straight. We're going to make an intention for 2 rak'ahs, 2 cycles of prayer, for the Eid Al-Fitr prayer. With an additional 6 takbirs, you'll include that in the intention. When we make the first takbir following the intention, you're going to place your hands where you would normally place them in the course of the prayer. There's no adhan or iqamah. We're simply going to stand and commence. After, you'll recite the thana, and then we'll do the first of the 3 additional takbirs. Recite a portion of the Quran, we'll recite Surah Fatiha, a portion of the Quran, and then we'll complete that cycle, that rak'ah, as is normally completed. We stand for the second rak'ah, the second unit of prayer. We will recite Fatiha, a portion of the Quran, and then we'll do the remaining 3 additional takbirs. At the 4th takbir, we'll go from the standing to the bowing position, and then we'll complete that cycle, that rak'ah of prayer as is normally completed. Once we're finished with the 2 rak'ahs of prayer, the salams are given. I'm going to stand and do 2 khutbahs. We'll make dua, and then it'll conclude the entirety of the Eid prayer service. You all are welcome to join us for brunch at our Islamic Center of New York City. We'll be serving food from the corner of Washington Place and 6th Avenue, which is just to my right, your left, literally a block and a half away from the edge of the park. You'll be able to go into the space for those who it's a little bit chilly outside. And those who, as the day gets warmer, if you'd like to be outside, you're more than welcome to. We will be having Jummah prayers as well, 1:15 to 1:45 and 2 to 2:30, and those will be inside of the Islamic Center, not outside here in the park. Okay, let's stand and make the rows for the prayer. Straighten the line, shoulder to shoulder, inshallah, fill the gaps. Verily the formation of your sufuf is part of your salah. Keep in mind that we're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so praise if this is your last prayer, inshallah.
We're just waiting for the rows to be straightened out.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. والله أكبر. الله أكبر. ولله الحمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. والله أكبر. الله أكبر. ولله الحمد. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the universe, the Master of the Day of Judgment. I bear witness and testimony to the oneness of Allah, to His magnificence, His omnipotence, His might, His glory, to His being the creator and sustainer of all things, the giver of life, the guider of hearts, the Master of the Day of Judgment. And I bear witness to the fact that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His servant and final messenger. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and upon all those who choose to tread in his path until the last day. These last few weeks, whenever I come into Manhattan, on my way from home to our new Islamic Center of New York City, quite often I am blessed to pass an overpass that someone has etched into it the words, "Love wins." Whenever I see these words that are very easy to pass if you're not really looking for a statement like this, the impact is not just something that is rooted in a mere absorption of what it is that is outward, but what it is that can be inwardly impacted. I stand before you today wearing a thobe and a shawl that was tailor-made by a brother that I met weeks ago when I went to visit people in Khartoum in Sudan, walking through the streets of the war zone that was there. May Allah grant them ease. I carry in my heart in front of you today a love that I have for the people of Lebanon that deepened when months ago I went to the city of Beirut to do relief work. And every single day, the drive and motivation that gets me up and gives me an energy unbounded is rooted in a conviction that I have been able to achieve by being in the presence of true people of Iman, as I was weeks ago with some of you when we sat in the homes of Palestinian refugees in camps, people who had nothing, but they still gave us something. And as you and I right now stand outside in observation of our Eid prayer, outside of our Islamic Center just a block away, There are people right now who are standing outside being denied entry into Al-Aqsa, but they are still praying their prayer. The recognition of choices and decisions, when we can understand a simple statement like love wins, the malady of what it is that counters our ability to love fully is our tradition, without qualification and condition. But every person of every race and every class and every ethnicity, those who share outward with us and those who do not, because our connections exist at the level of shared values and shared hearts. The maladies that counter that type of love are not always rooted in things like malice and hatred and bigotry. But the bigger challenges of this world that you and I live in right now, that Allah in His wisdom chose to create us in this time, the things that counter love, man, are things like indifference and selfishness. And this cannot be a community that ever even comes close to embodying those things. Look at where you stand and how it is that you are surrounded by an entire group of people in the thousands. When you feel alone in your office, you're the only Muslim in your class, you see people get onto your news feeds across television screens, gracing the cover of magazines, and they tell you that you don't belong. Forget them. This is no longer a time where you and I can see our Islam as anything other than an asset. It cannot be something that systems of anti-blackness instill within us, a psychology that tells us that we leave the greatest ni'mah we've been given at the door in order to be accepted by people who we should not even be thinking twice about what they think about us. Indifference in and of itself becomes a deep plague in the world that we are in today. That somebody else's suffering is not my responsibility. Who is supposed to care about the poor in this city, if not you and I? Who is supposed to experience the cold that we feel right now blowing against your face, if it does not bring you to think about people who they sleep in this thing every day and every night? What is the point of a Ramadan that interrupts an entire cycle of living if it does not bring us to a place where we're bold enough to live through our hearts? And you got to be honest with yourself, because it's not a world that simply does not know. It is a world that does not care to know. In a place where we have capacity, we have potential, we have resources and knowledge, we have the skills to build beautifully, indifference cannot be any type of way that we traverse this world any longer. The Quran calls us again and again and again to be people who look, who see, who reflect. And the world seeks to erase identity again and again and again. As your brother who loves you, you didn't make it because you get to sit at a table where people push dollars towards you in order to have you turn your face away from injustice and inequity. Our tradition teaches us that food for one is enough for two, and food for two is enough for four. It doesn't say you share that food just with people who share faith, religion, race, class, and culture with you. Somebody is hungry, and you know that they're hungry. Our book tells us that you feed the hungry, man. Indifference cannot be the way of this community. And then at a deepened level, a selfishness that has plagued the world. Because if my indifference keeps me from seeing you, my selfishness knows that you exist, and I still don't do a thing for you. I get to a place where when I get up in the morning, all I'm driven by is what's going to feed my stomach today. What is it that's going to be for my ease and my comfort? The question is not about what do I gain, but what is right. And how do I start to instill that frame of mind in a world that is sorely in need of Muslims who are willing to live their Islam, not just in name, but in reality. There is no shortage of opportunities to be a source of goodness in the world right now. And may Allah make each one of us always the reason people have hope in this world, and never the reason that people might dread it. It is our holiday, it is our Eid, celebrated in the truest sense of the word. We live in a part of the world right now where our convening and coming coming together cannot simply be for moments on one day, but soak it all in and let it be something you hold in your heart so that we can catalyze a much needed energy and show the world again and again and again that indeed love wins. Because you are going to not just practice love in a way that is conditional and qualified, but you're going to give it to everyone and anyone, because that's what our deen teaches us to be. People of real mahabba, people of real love. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. When I walked through the streets of Sudan, I stuck out a little bit. There wasn't a lot of Pakistanis in Sudan when I was there, but interestingly enough, when we walked into the tailor space, my brother Sheikh Amar Shukri was with me, and he said to me that you're probably not going to meet a lot of people who are Desi like you. And then out of nowhere, a Pakistani man in a shalwar kameez walked in front of me, and he stared at me and I stared at him because neither of us knew why the other one was in Sudan at that time. And as I continued to walk through the streets, the people of Sudan kept coming up and asking me why I was there. I've never been in a place like this. We're walking through towns that are desolate and abandoned. The sheer amount of artillery that must have been launched to create the number of bullet holes that indiscriminately targeted churches, masjids, schools, hospitals. Human beings did that to other human beings. And as I walked through these streets, and every so often, somebody asked me where I came from and what I was doing there. They would grab my hand and try to pull me into the remains of a home and say, you cannot leave until we give you something. How does somebody who has nothing give you something? And how do we who have so much start to realize that truly what we have is what it is that we give away? The opportunity for us to carry forward on the spirit of Ramadan, not in a way that understands it to be something seasonal, but with real conviction, real value, real ethics. You start being bold and audacious. And you walk through these streets of New York City in a way that recognizes that this entire community is always behind you. There's not a lot that are like this. It is not anything other than objective fact. You are not a community identified by a predominant race, culture, or class. You come from all walks of life, speak all kinds of languages. The deepness of this tradition is demonstrated when we gather in this park on Eid, because all of you look so beautiful, representing who it is that you are in the truest of senses. Let's give some of that back, man, with some energy. This coming year is going to be something unlike any other. I stood in this park a year ago and I told you that there was a young man by the name of Ramadan who's going to make some things happen. Our sister Johnny Elisa just stood in front of you, and you got to understand that there's more and more that are going to come. And we're going to do our part to do what it is that we can to leave this world a little bit better than the state that we found it in. It's going to come from each one of us understanding our role and our part. Indifference and selfishness cannot be anything that you allow to enter and guide your heart in the way that you make decisions in this world. There are people right now who have nothing, and they still have the ability to give something. We have been blessed with a lot of talent, a lot of skills, a lot of credentials. I want you to come to our center today before you leave from this part of the city. I want you to walk through both floors. Take it in, because there's going to come a time when renovation and construction are done, and it is not going to look as raw as it does right now, and we are going to be the ones who are going to have to tell people about what it was when it first started. I want you to have the blessing of being able to be there after we just completed our first full Ramadan. The seats were filled to capacity, night after night after night. Even if you come and just take one bite of one morsel of food, let it be so that you can be written amongst in your pages of your book that you were there when we started this thing. And after we get it done, we're going to keep building and keep building and keep building. The clinics, the pantries, the substance recovery, the re-entry programs, the ventures that will create jobs for people who are struggling. Inshallah ta'ala, Allah will give us tawfiq in all of it. And this will be a community that will continue to do the things which others say cannot be done. But on this day of Eid, celebrate in the truest sense of the words. Tell the people that you love them. Express gratitude to the people that you are grateful for. And I want you to know that I love each of you so much, and I'm so grateful for your presence in this community, and I can't wait to see what it is that we continue to build together. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وفي الآخرين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين. We begin this supplication in your name, Ya Allah, and beseech you to send your choicest salutations upon your most beloved sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. We ask that you shower infinite mercy upon this gathering, granting each and every one who is present herein and our loved ones only the best in this world and the best in the next. We ask, Ya Allah, that if all of us are meant to be together only at this time, at this place, whether we are young or old, male or female, regardless of our race, our ethnicity, our social class, our country of origin, our cultural heritage, whether we are Muslim or come from a different walk of life, Ya Rabbi, if our individual hearts are meant to be in the presence of all other hearts that are gathered here only at this time, at this place, and gather us all together again in the best of places in the world beyond this one. Ya Allah, you who is the source of all love, the giver of mercy, the one who turns hearts as you will, we stand before you today in the openness of Washington Square Park, beneath the sky that bears witness to our gathering, surrounded by thousands upon thousands of souls. Each of us has arrived here by a different path, carrying different stories, different struggles, different hopes. And yet, Ya Allah, you have brought us together on this day of Eid as one community, united not by sameness, but by our shared longing for you. We thank you, Ya Rabbi, for allowing us to reach this day. How many began Ramadan with us who are not here with us? How many hoped to see this Eid but did not? So we say Alhamdulillah for all it is that you have gifted us with and the ability to turn back to you again and again. Ya Allah, accept from us our fasting, our prayers, our charity, our remembrance. Accept from us the moments when we felt close to you and forgive us for the moments when we were heedless. Accept from us the tears we shed in the quiet of the night and forgive us for the worship we struggled to complete. You are the one who accepts even the smallest of deeds and multiplies them beyond what we can imagine. Ya Allah, place within our hearts a love that is true, not a love that is conditional, not a love that is convenient, but a love that reflects something of your mercy. A love that shows up in how we treat one another, and how we speak to one another, and how we care for one another. Protect us from hearts from indifference. We live in a time where it is easy not to care. We are surrounded by so much pain that we become numb to it. We scroll past suffering, we hear of dhulm, injustice, and feel distant from it. Do not let our hearts become hardened, Ya Rabb. Do not let us be of those who see but do not truly see, who hear but do not truly listen. Make us people who feel deeply. Let the pain of others matter to us. Let the struggles of others move us. Let us not walk past those in need as if they are invisible. Let us not turn away simply because something is uncomfortable. Give us the courage to remain present even when it is difficult. On this day of Eid, when we are smiling, when we are celebrating, when we are embracing one another, help us to not forget those whose celebrations are different from ours. Ya Allah, we lift up to you the people of Gaza and the West Bank, those who wake up not to the sound of takbirat, but to the sound of khawf, of explosions, of uncertainty, families who have lost loved ones, homes that have been destroyed, children who carry trauma heavier than their years. Be their protection, be their comfort, be their justice. We lift up all of Palestine, a land that carries pain but also resilience, a people who continue to endure with a strength that humbles us, end the occupation that is taking place there, end the genocidal violence, and make us a generation that witnesses a free Palestine in our lifetime. Ya Allah, grant them ease after hardship, grant them security after fear, grant them a future that is filled with dignity. We lift up to you the people of Sudan, a people facing one of the most devastating crises in the world, displaced, struggling, often forgotten. Ya Allah, do not let them be forgotten. Raise for them helpers. Bring relief to their land and to their hearts. We lift up to you the people of Lebanon, where so many have been impacted by conflict and war. Families have been torn from their homes, where uncertainty shadows everyday life. Bring stability where there is chaos, healing where there is pain. We lift up to you the people of Iran amid conflict, loss, and fear. Ya Rab, you know their condition better than we ever could. Be gentle with all of them, Ya Salam. We ask you to remove from our hearts selfishness. Protect us from the illusion that we are the center of everything. Protect us from the idea that our comfort is more important than someone else's. Save us from prioritizing ourselves in ways that cause harm to others, even if we do not attend it. Ya Allah, expand our hearts. Make them spacious enough to hold the concerns of others. Make them soft enough to respond with mercy, strong enough to give, even when it feels like we have little to give. Ramadan taught us that we are capable of more. It taught us we can restrain ourselves, that we can be disciplined, that we can be generous, that we can turn to you. Do not let us forget these lessons. Do not let Ramadan be something we leave behind. Help us to carry its spirit into the rest of our lives. Ya Allah, in this gathering are people who are struggling with loss, struggling with loneliness, struggling with uncertainty. You know what they carry even when they cannot put it into words. Bring ease to their hearts, replace their pain with tranquility, grant them openings when they see none. In this gathering are people who are searching for meaning, searching for purpose, searching for you. Do not turn them away, draw them closer. Let this day be a moment of transformation for them. Ya Allah, unite us despite our differences. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different lived experiences, but you have made us one ummah. Do not let our differences divide us. Let them be a source of strength, a source of beauty, a sign of your wisdom. Make us always people of justice and compassion, people who stand for what is right even when it is difficult. Make us people who bring light into dark places, who bring hope where there is despair, who bring love where there is neglect. And as we celebrate today, let us always remember those who have struggled and sacrificed for us so that we can be where we are. Let us leave here as people whose hearts are alive, as people who see, who feel, who respond, as people through whom your love is made manifest in this world. Ya Allah, accept from us, forgive us, guide us, and use us only in the best of ways. Protect us always from hearts that are not humble, tongues that are not wise, and eyes that have forgotten how to cry. Forgive us for our shortcomings and guide and bless us all. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Eid Mubarak, Eid Saeed. Feel free to hug each other.
For those who want to join us for brunch, you can just go straight down Washington Place. It's to my right, your left. Feel free to enjoy the day in the park, inshallah. Allah bless you all.
I know. I saw people taking my job right there. Like, okay.
Good luck. Have a good day.
Glad I'm not the only one. Alhamdulillah, my son. Eid Mubarak. How are you? Yeah, inshallah. Sorry, my mother, she couldn't make it. Oh, yeah? No worries, man. Give her my salam. Salam, Eid Mubarak. Good, I'm good. Are you here by yourself? Yeah? Kareem was just here. I don't know where you're going away to. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. Alhamdulillah, kayfak. Eid Mubarak. Salam, salam. How was it out here? Was it too cold?
From North Carolina.
North Carolina. MashaAllah. Glad you're here with us.
I'll see you over there. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Would you like to talk with Reuters? Eid Mubarak.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so may I have you right here just to avoid the... what is your name?
Samir.
Samir, where are you from?
I grew up in Florida.
Florida, yeah. So what is your message on the occasion of Eid?
Eid Mubarak. It's a wonderful day outside, and I hope everyone has a great time.
So what about the war in the Middle East? Do you have an opinion to say?
No, not really.
Okay, thank you, man. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Well, it was very good. I was in like the second row.
Assalamu alaikum.
You got it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Eid
Mubarak. So would you like to talk to Reuters?
Sorry?
Would you like to talk to Reuters?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Just gotta make sure it works, doesn't it?
yeah. So, may I have your first and last name, please?
My name is Omar Nazir.
Would you spell it?
Omar, O-M-A-R. Nazir, N-A-Z-I-R.
Where are you from?
From Pakistan.
So, what is your message to the world?
Not sure I have a good message to the world. I mean, this is a great day. We have the community over here. It's lovely to see this in New York. I think we're spreading a good message. Everyone is welcome. I think people come to this and they become a better person, to Muslims and to non-Muslims, and it's great to be able to do this in a place like New York.
So what about the war in the Middle East? They have their special message there?
I mean, we hope for the best for everyone. I think it's unfortunate for everyone affected. There's civilians on both sides of the conflict that are affected, and the world is stopping. My parents currently live in Pakistan, so I just hope for the best for that region, for everyone in that region.
Thank you.
You guys have anything to say?
Would you like to say something?
More should be an option. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Have a good day. What is your name?
I'm Amin
Amin?
Ali.
Amin Ali. Nice to meet you. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Is this going to be somewhere?
Reuters.
Reuters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, can you get a picture of us? Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Can you get a picture of us?
I'm doing live.
Oh, okay. Live.
And also, I would like to talk to you. Are you interested to talk to Reuters?
Thank you. Thank you. Inshallah next year. Yeah. Manager position. Thank you.
Alright, yo, dude, we'll film like ads. Inshallah. Yeah, alright, we'll get like